how's South Africa? How are you guys? How's the feeling in camp with all the Welsh boys back as well and a new competition to focus on?
Yeah, I mean, obviously South Africa was obviously a bit disappointed with 2 losses, but the boys obviously bonded really well out there. I feel like our relationships grew as a team out there, and then obviously this week to get all the experience and the qualities that the international boys have is a great boost for us heading into Europe.
Going to Europe against the English champions as well. It's going to be a tough one to get going, eh?
Yeah, obviously no games in professional rugby are too easy, but yeah, being the English champions, they obviously know how to win. So it's going to be a tough physical game for us, but one we're really looking forward to.
Yeah, you've got the French champions as well, but it's where you want to be, I suppose, as professional rugby players, testing yourselves against the very best.
Yeah, just like you just said, really, the opportunities to play against the best in the world and obviously challenge ourselves as rugby players and as a team. We're really looking forward to it, and to be honest, hopefully we can stamp our mark at the weekend.
Yeah, you seem to be enjoying your rugby as well, kind of establishing yourself in the Ospreys lineup.
Yeah, I mean, obviously with a couple of boys, Dan Evans being injured and stuff, I've obviously luckily got my opportunity this season. Last season was a bit stop and start, frustrating on a personal level, but you know, getting a run of games this year has been exciting, and obviously I'm looking to sort of push on from that and improve my performances week in, week out.
Yeah, absolutely. Your background, Max, you're from the Midlands, aren't you? Was watching Leicester, was that as a kid, was that something, or were you Northampton, where were you, who did you follow?
Yeah, I followed a bit of Northampton because obviously that's where I'm from, but you know, I don't read too much into that. That's like obviously part of my childhood and was great, but you know, at the weekend we've got a job to do with the team that I play for, which is Ospreys.
Yeah, absolutely. Cool, thanks Max, that's everything for me.
No worries, thank you.
Max, how are you enjoying this level of rugby?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's a step up from playing university and club rugby back home, but I'm really enjoying it, to be honest. You know, challenging myself every day, obviously training with great players and then getting the chance to play against great players at the weekend. You know, it's very exciting for me and obviously my family to watch me play at this level. Sort of just taking it week in, week out really, and just trying to improve and get better.
Did you were at Swansea Uni, you were, weren't you?
Yeah, so obviously coming from England, but coming over across the border to Swansea Uni for my studies, and then playing rugby with the university team and sort of kicking on and getting recognised from them. It was, you know, obviously I can't thank the university and what they gave me enough, really. They gave me the platform to come and, you know, experience a professional game.
Who were your coaches there? Was Hugh Gustafsson and James Hook, or did they come in after you?
Yeah, so Hugh Gustafsson was obviously the main sort of head coach when I was in there, but there's also a Welsh international, Siwan Lily Crapp was like a head of the whole programme. There was also a couple other members that helped me along sort of at university, but then James Hook came in after, but I still had conversations with Hookie, and you know, he's helped me along the way too.
Brilliant. Now this weekend, you could potentially have the chance to compare notes with one of the best young fullbacks in World Rugby.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, you know, playing against Freddie Stewart will be a good test for me personally, but you know, I'm not too worried about. Obviously, there's individual battles within the team game, but I'm not too worried about that. Obviously, he's done incredibly well for himself over the last 12 to 18 months. So you have to credit him for that, but yeah, I'm just there to do a job for my team and yeah, put in a performance.
So you've been in Wales how many years?
I think this is my 5th year in Wales. 3 years of studies. Yeah, so 3 years of studies. Then last year, and yeah, this is going into my 5th year. So yeah, I've been here a while. And, I love Swansea, and it's a great city and a great place to play rugby.
Any thoughts about, you know, eligibility and where your allegiance might lie as you press on further down the line?
To be honest, really, I haven't thought about that at all. You know, I'm just sort of focused on what I can offer for Ospreys, and you know, going forward how we can improve as a team and individually. So with like the international game and stuff, you don't really think about that as a player. That's something that might come in the future. You don't know.
Who's helped you? You know, who's been helpful to you in the squad at the Ospreys?
Yeah, obviously sort of countless names. Obviously Dan Evans being the obvious positional help. I get a lot of good advice from Dan. Even though he's injured at the minute, he still talks to me on a regular basis about improving my game and how I can, and you know what points might help me in against particular opponents. So obviously Stephen Miner, George North, you know, even loads of the young boys help me out. So it's an all-round collective really. But yeah, I'd probably say sort of Stephen Miner, George North, Dan Evans have been the main helping points with my game.
Just last question from me really. Looking at your own game, what do you feel your strong points are, and perhaps the areas where you could improve? Yeah,
I mean, I've always been quite good in the air, so I'd say obviously naturally my high balls and you know my running abilities to be a defender have usually been quite strong. Potentially haven't exploited them as much as I'd like to at this level yet, but you know something I'm looking to do. And then just general work on, you know, your standard of communication with the back line, your scanning, you know, reading the game, that can always be improved. So yeah, there's obviously parts of my game which I'm looking to improve, but you know, there are a couple of strong points that I look to build on as well.
Brilliant, mate. Hope it goes well this weekend.
Yeah, no worries. Thank you.
Thanks very much.
Cheers.
Hi Max, I'm just wondering, obviously a lot of youngsters coming through like yourself, often there's with a lot of change it can be quite difficult for the team to carry on their momentum. What's that been like really for you?
Yeah, I mean obviously there are a lot of youngsters and there's a lot of senior boys, so I feel like, to be honest, we've got a really good blend with experience and youth coming through, which I think is really exciting for the club at the minute. Obviously you've got other players like Joey Hawkins who's just made his debut, you know, the list would go on, and then you've obviously got Tipperick, Alan Wynne, all these boys coming back. So to be honest, I think it's a really good blend and we all get on really well, so yeah, we all help each other out on the field.
Yeah, can you sum up your thoughts on what you can take from last week? Because obviously you didn't quite get the win or anything, but a lot of positives to be taken from that.
Yeah, I mean obviously the overriding disappointment with the loss, but plenty of positives for the first 70 minutes. I felt like we stuck in the arm wrestle really well against the big, you know, physical South African side, similar to what we could potentially face at the weekend. So there's plenty of positives with the way we fronted up and stuff. But obviously we'll be looking to improve what we can do ball in hand and probably create a few more try scoring opportunities for ourselves.
Yeah, 1 win from 9, 2 draws within that, a few close results. As a squad, do you see it as a positive that you keep in with these fantastic teams, or is it a bit of disappointment and becoming a perpetual cycle then?
Yeah, no, definitely it's not a positive at all. I mean, you know, at the end of the day our job is to come and win rugby games, so we're not going to shy away from that as a team, but on the whole the performances have been really positive and we've shown bits, if we can stitch it all together, that we'll be a good team to face for any side. So you know, obviously not positive with the results, but on a performance level I feel like we've done really well this year.
Yeah, and it doesn't get any easier with the English and French champions now, but you've had some tough tests. You're playing against some of the best players in the world in the URC. Do you think you're more prepared now to really challenge these sides?
Yeah, I definitely think we are, to be honest. You know, you get stern tests against the South African teams, and obviously we had 2 tough tests in Europe last year against Racing and Sales, so I think we're stood in good stead and ready for the weekend.
Yeah, and just finally, could you just give me a couple of words maybe on some of the youngsters like Joe Hawkins coming through, the impact he's made this season?
Yeah, obviously very proud moment for Joey a couple of weekends ago when he made his debut, and you know we're all delighted for him, but he's got, you know, an abundance of quality, so it's not really a surprise that he's had his shot on an international stage. There's obviously other youngsters like, you know, Ruben Morgan Williams, Morgan Morris, Jack Walsh, all these lads who have come through the system, and they're also looking really good as well. So you know, there's plenty of talent in this team.